Okay, so I recorded a bunch of stuff and found out that my voice wasn't working, so I'm going to try and start this over and explain what I did because it was fairly simple. You want to create a new project. I chose third person game just because that seems to be the easiest thing to get in and start messing around with. Once you do that, then you're going to open up one of the projects from the Cinti store, the stuff that we just bought. For me, it's the Polygon Sci-Fi, and you're going to open the .u project file, which then opens up the whole, the whole project with all the assets and everything. Um, in the content browser, you want to go down to this view options thing and turn off show folders and then click on content, and that will show you every asset of every type in one space. And then you're just going to select it all, Control A, and right click. It's going to take a little bit to sort of load up all the information about everything. And then you go to Asset Actions and Migrate. So this is going to give you every possible file that you have. It's every file that you have selected, but it's also all of the files that are linked to that. So if you, for instance, clicked on a blueprint that you had that had a handful of assets like meshes in it that then were calling other things and were used in a map, it would grab all of those at the same time. But just to be sure that you're getting everything that you want, it's easier just to go grab all the stuff. This migrate is also a great way for if you, like my zombie project, I've dumped a ton of Cinti stuff in there. So if you want to sort of get everything that is needed for like one map, you could grab the map itself and say migrate, and it would grab everything that that map should need, and it tends to be pretty solid. So it seems like it works pretty well. So you hit OK, and then you're going to go find the project that you created. Oh crap, I don't know if I put mine in the right place. I think I called it, yeah, good, Cinti test. So this is the root folder of the project that I created, and then you're going to select the content folder and hit select folder. And then that's just going to dump all those files, so 842. It says some could not be copied, um, and you can look at that message. It never gives, it says that quite often, but I don't know if it's this thing that doesn't have something. I don't know what's going on with that, but it seems like that usually works. So close this, and then we're going to launch, I don't think that test was going to show up in here. Well, maybe. Yeah, it did. I could have done that. But I'll just find it in here, Cinti test, open project. So once this opens up, it's going to be, it should open up to the same map as usual. And then in the content browser, it's going to have all of the stuff that we just pushed over here in Polygon Sci-Fi, and then it's broken down in the same way. So we should be able to open up the same demonstration map that was in there, and boom, there you go. How sweet is that? So what you're going to do to get your third person character. So I think an easy thing to do here is to, let's see, does this map have, I'm on a second screen so you probably can't see this, but I'm searching for player start. It does not have one. Okay, that's actually good news. It means I should be able to right click and place actor and player start. And then in your world settings, which you choose from up here somewhere, edit, is it edit or window? Sorry, I don't remember where that's stored. World settings. That's going to pop out. I'll have to move it over here so you can see it. In here, that's going to give you, there's this override. So game mode, we don't have one. So real quick, we're just going to create one. So back here, just to make this simple, I'm going to put it in this blueprints folder. Right click, blueprint class, and you should be able, I think it's here, yeah, game mode base, and we're going to just call it Cinti test GM. Okay, so now if you double click this and open it, it's going to give you a full blueprint. All you really care about here is we're going to set the player is it player controller? No, default pawn. And we're going to choose the third person character, which is the one that is created in the demo game. So I should be able to hit play, and yeah, here's my dude. Now he's in here running around just like a normal dude. So from there, we're going to take this guy, third person character, is using these. Now, I don't know why they put that in meshes. That's weird. It's in mannequin animations. It's using this animation blueprint. And if we open the blueprint, so anything that's connected to animation and character stuff, up in the upper right, you get all these things. It's sort of the hierarchy of all the pieces. So the skeleton this is where all your bones and stuff, you can rotate and move all this stuff. So we're going to use something called the retarget manager. All you're going to do is you're going to select in the mid bicep, the upper arm, and you're going to rotate this. You want to be snapped up here. You want to make sure that this is orange and 10 degrees is good. This guy comes up 50 degrees. This guy is going to go back 30 degrees. I learned this off of a YouTube tutorial. I don't know why these numbers, but it seems to work fairly well. You could mess around with this if you want to try it, but you need to be in a T pose. So once you set that, just those 4 spots, you're going to hit modify pose, excuse me, and you're going to hit use current pose, and then save. I don't believe this actually causes any real issues with your character like this, but what it does do is it gives you, when you go into the Polygon Sci-Fi, meshes, and where are we at here? Meshes, characters. This gives you all these dudes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this. Where's my mannequin? Where'd he go? Mannequin character and mesh. We're going to duplicate this. We're going to call it Polygon Rig. So now that's the new skeleton that I'm going to use. So what I want to do is go back to these characters, and I'm going to right click on this guy, and I'm going to say skeleton, and I'm going to say assign skeleton. I'm going to pick Polygon Rig. It will tell you sometimes, depends on the project, sometimes they added some extra bones that aren't in that same one. You should be able to just say accept, and it's going to tell you you're going to be adding these bones. Hit OK. Should be fine. So now you've got this guy, and this guy, this is an alien. I've never done this one, so maybe he's just set up weird because he's got antenna and stuff. But now you have a skeleton on him. So what we should be able to do is go into the mannequin again and look at these animations, and we're going to take these animations. So the ones with the green little green underneath, those are actual animation files. The blueprint and like blend spaces and things like that have the orange ones, and there's a couple other colors. But you should be able to right click on this guy and say retarget anim's assets, and then duplicate anim assets and retarget. So what that's going to do is it's going to ask you for who do you want to retarget to. You want to uncheck this show only compatible skeletons, choose the Polygon Rig, and it should be showing up over here. I think that means that I've actually got something, I missed a step. Let's go back here, look at my, oh, I think I know what it is. When I'm in here, I have to choose a preview asset, I think, on the skeleton. So apply to asset, save. I think now I should be able to go back and do this again. So retarget, duplicate, compatible, polygon, there you go. So now you can see they're both in T-pose, so that should match them up fairly well. Scale is off, so you do get, I think it does end up looking a little bit funky. I mean, this is certainly not going to be something you're going to ship, but it gives you something to play with. So in here, then I'm going to choose to, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to try and put it somewhere. So I'm going to think, yeah, you can right click, new folder, and I'll go Polygon. I can't type. Okay, so that's the folder I'm going to choose. Hit OK. So you do that down here by hitting change. You can, if you want to change your naming scheme and all that stuff, you can do that here. I don't know what any of the rest of this does. I don't think I've ever really messed with it. It's really this one. Uncheck it so you get the full list. Hit retarget. It should have moved all of those into here. And now there's my little dude. He's playing the different animations on that skeleton. So you'll notice something looks a little funky. His arms are always out. And that could be because of the way that we set up that rig originally. I'm not sure if he was, maybe he didn't need to be. Go down 30. Oops. Or no, it's 50, sorry. I think this needs to go down one more, two more. There, okay, that looks even. So save that, and then look at these. I'm not 100% sure why that happened. Yeah, I'm not really sure what actually happened there. Let me double check that this guy is still, he's in an A pose. This rig is now in an A pose as well. I'm not 100% sure what happens here. Might have to play around with that a little bit. I don't know if we can re-export those animations. Let me try that real quick. Retarget, duplicate, uncheck, polygon. Okay, so that's still showing this guy in a T pose, so I'm not sure why that is, but I'm just going to try and do this. I think it should replace, or it may have just made doubles. Yeah, it did make doubles, and it didn't seem to make a difference there. I'm not 100% sure why that is. What we might be able to do is go to the skeleton again, do the retarget. Oh, you know what? There was something here. Select humanoid rig. I'm going to actually set him back to the T pose. Okay. Modify, use current, save. It might have been this that caused the problem. So I'm going to go back here. I'm just going to delete all of these. I don't know if you've messed with deleting. One of the things you have to keep in mind, if anytime it shows anything in the asset referencers column, you don't want to delete. You don't want to force delete. If it's in memory reference, it's fine. But if you force delete something that is in the asset referencer, it'll break those reference links, and it can cause all sorts of problems. I don't think, I mean, I guess it's possible it could completely bork your project, but more than anything, it's just a pain in the ass. You might see like, materials are broken because they're not pointing to the right textures or something like that. And then the other thing you want to do when you delete stuff like that, in this case, I don't think it matters, but I always just, for safety's sake, if you right click on content, I just do it at the root just to make it easier, and click fix up redirectors in folder. What that'll do is you want to do that more often when you move a bunch of stuff, because it will make sure that stuff is shown in the proper place. I'm going to pause real quick.